All right, Atlanta fans. Now it's whew, okay. So I never heard of this show, and that's no shade to Donald Glover and those who write it. I just have not heard of the show, but a lot of people were hitting me up over the past couple of days because they did an episode last week. I think it was around Wednesday or Thursday, season 4, episode 5, and the episode was called Work Ethic, and this was according to TV Line, a savage parody with Tyler Perry. And yeah, so Thursday night's episode had the main character Van driving her daughter Lottie to a massive film production complex called Chocolate Studios, run by the elusive Kirkwood Chocolate. On their way, they pass a tour guide who totes Chocolate Studios as a studio for the culture and by the culture. Okay, so, they take a tour of the studios. They have a bunch of sound stages named after various, black celebrities like John Witherspoon. And one of the sitcoms that's taking place, Van is supposed to shoot a scene there because a friend told her about it and she thought she'd give it a try. She hasn't really watched a lot of the shows and movies, and the girl doing her hair confesses, "I hate it personally," and as well as a maintenance guy who feels the same way. And from there, they talk about how, Mr. Chocolate has, brightly lit multi-camera sitcom. And look, you can tell where this is going. The entire thing is a spoof on what Tyler Perry does at the studios, even to the point where he never even appears in person. He just speaks over the intercom, feeding lines to the actors and whatnot. And as the episode goes on, Van just feels like, I don't know. It just feels something is wrong. So, her daughter Lottie is doing pretty good. And the assistant reassures Van that with the way that Mr. Chocolate shoots, you'll both probably still be done for lunch. Due to the fact that Tyler Perry, has a knack for filming dozens, if not, hundreds of pages of scripts within like a day. So the article itself, which again I'll leave a link to in the comment section below, while you read the article describing the episode, they're like, hey, for the record, or for instance, Tyler Perry does this. And in the dressing room, Lottie tries on some outfits, and Van confides in the older woman, kindly a woman, that she's not all that sure about her daughter being in a TV show. Just because the longer they're at the studio grounds, the more she's becoming a bit, uncertain if this is the right thing for her child, because, they're moving from this set to that set. But, the woman just quotes some Bible verses and says that a person who's not open to the joy of a child isn't open to true happiness. And her daughter does seem to be happy. And from there, she shoots a whole new scene on this sitcom. And another mom tells Van that, hey, Mr. Chocolate is probably going to write a kids show for your own daughter right now. She kind of like pictures her own kid to be, hey, what if my kid is your kid's best friend who just so happens to be good at computers? So, after she just turns around, her daughter's gone. And it's like the assistant tells Lottie that, look, your daughter's already moved on to the next scene, and Mr. Chocolate has written her into 14 more scenes, and she's number 3 on the call sheet. So basically, this just is more of a spoof on how quickly Tyler Perry Studios handles the filming of the different shows and whatnot. And like cast say, hey, I took this one take in this scene, and, and then I had to get ready to be in a hospital scene on the next, set. So this is pretty accurate. So from there, Van is demanding to talk with Mr. Chocolate because she doesn't know where her own daughter is, but every assistant basically says the same thing. Oh, I've actually never met him myself. So she actually runs into one of the maintenance people on set, and I believe his name is Shamik, and he basically reveals like, Mr. Chocolate gave me this job after I got out of prison, and I was having a tough time finding employment. And, as I work here during the day, I got time to do crypto mining at night. And he hands her his business card. Now, there's another sound stage where Abe Lincoln is crying and a black woman says, "You white piece of SHIT. I hope you get shot in the theater." And that's the end of that, project. She talks to another assistant there who's basically is like, hey, I don't know where your daughter is because I'm directing two pilots and I'm starring in one myself. Mr. Chocolate is the only person that knows what's going on. So from there, Van is losing it, and she says, look, I think Mr. Chocolate's going to be happy with your daughter's work, and maybe she'll win that BET award. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, when has a Tyler Perry star won a BET award? But in any case, they get to the next stage, and Lottie is shooting a serious dramatic scene, which ends with her on-screen mother eating a crack sandwich or something. But, you know, it seems like it's a game of cat and mouse. Every time Van thinks she caught up with her daughter, she's on the next set. And Mr. Chocolate's always watching, and he has plans. So she loses it thinking they're all like a cult or something, and she tries to get security to help, but it's just an intern fetching coffee. I'm not going to lie, that part was pretty funny. But the intercom is giving direction, and she looks and tries to figure out where this voice is coming from. So she goes over to the office building, and there are two armed guards there. The old lady from earlier comforts her as she's crying to her about her daughter, and then, you know, pulls out a gun and shoots one of the guards in the foot. Okay, so from there, she actually makes it to Kirkwood Chocolate's office, and it's a room full of monitors, thousands of script pages, and he's banging away on a piano. And you know, is actually Donald Glover portraying this character. And, you know, from the immunity to grits and talking about how, you know, the thing just writes itself. Keanu is how he sits down and writes the scripts, and she's threatening to call the police and whatnot. And, you know, it seems like this is, you know, I control everything. I do what I want. And yeah, it's just like they're not trying to hide this is supposed to be Tyler Perry. And he basically tells Vanessa or Van to her face, you're a Kirkwood chocolate woman. Basically the fact that you talk about how I write unrelatable stuff and I call myself an artist, but I'm not. But look, you are a single mother who's struggling financially. You have a potential love interest who was a formerly incarcerated man, a gun-toting Christian grandma. Face it. And what is your baby's father dark skinned? He's brown. And basically from there, after the grits, you know, didn't apparently do anything, even though he said later he's losing a lot of blood. It's like, look, I want to sign your daughter to a TV show for 6 seasons. I'll set her up financially until she's 20. And she wants to do it, but Van is like, no, so they drag her out. And then they get home, and Van apologized to her daughter, saying that, look, I didn't feel comfortable letting you commit to something like that at your age. So, you know, with a hug, she, you know, goes to her room as her mom says, oh, I'm going to make us some mac and cheese. So, yeah, okay, let me put it this way. I get it. I mean, to me personally, this is definitely an episode that harkens back to the, what was it, early 2019 when Tyler Perry did that video about work ethic where he had the mountain of scripts and whatnot. But in any case, I think with the Jazzman's Blues and Zatima being recent releases that have overall gotten positive feedback, a lot of people have said, wow, this is pretty harsh. But like if you go back to, you know, 2019, 2020, even 2021, a lot of people I feel like a lot of people do agree, like, man, this is better than what Tyler Perry does. And da, 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 da. I think for me, after, you know, having the privilege to speak with so many cast and whatnot, say what you and I've made it clear I don't always agree with how Tyler Perry does things, being, you know, a consumer of his work and someone who, you know, writes these reviews and all this other stuff, but I admire the man's work ethic and the fact that he does change lives. I mean, the fact that so many people say he's given me opportunities no one else has, and after my experience at his studios, I'm actually prepared to work on any other film studio in Hollywood, which is what Tyler Perry does. Yeah, you could say it's ridiculous all he shoots and all this stuff, but time after time, I've had people, and I'm not saying names, I've had people who do hair, makeup, wardrobe stuff. They work on non-Tyler Perry projects. They have contacted me to say, hey, you know, I had this character from the Haves and or I've had this actor from the Haves and the Have-Nots, or I had this actor from the Oval on one of the sets I work on. And I tell you, they were so on point. Like, they were always ready. You know, like some veteran actors, you know, they would take some more time, you know, to get themselves ready. But this person who worked on the Tyler Perry project, like, they were standing at attention. They were ready. And for the most part, they even knew more about how certain things run than some of the people who actually work on this set. Not like they tried to take over, but people would come to them for advice, and then, they would just say, oh, well, like at a Tyler Perry set, we would film things so quickly, like, you always had to be at the top of your game. So Tyler Perry, while look, I get it, this episode, when you watch it, it's like, man, this is how Tyler Perry does it. On the outside, it looks ridiculous, but the end result, and from testimonials I have received from real people in the non-Tyler Perry industry, what he does works. Again, I don't always agree with the quality of the final project, but the way Tyler Perry does, he wouldn't be a billionaire if what he didn't work. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, yeah, there were some moments in this episode I literally laughed out loud. I'm not going to hold you. Like when Van threw the grits. I'm perfectly okay. I filled up an immunity. Okay, that was pretty funny. But then it got to the point where it's like, yeah, this is just like Boondocks or whatever. So, I mean, look, you can make these episodes all you want, but here's the thing. He's a freaking billionaire. And if you want to make fun of somebody and how they do things, but they sitting on $1 billion plus, it is what it is. So, yeah, this episode, it was okay. Yeah, I did get a couple laughs out of there, and you kind of knew where the episode was going the more you watched it, but that's really all I got to say on it. Donald Glover, yeah, at first I didn't even know it was him. I had to look it up to find out, oh shit, that was Donald Glover, because I thought it was like a Tyler Perry-esque actor, but no, it was actually Donald Glover. So, yeah, so that's really all I got to say. It is what it is. Yeah. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And hit that bell icon and select all. That way you are up to date whenever I post content on the channel.